व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वर गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्ति पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं मन्त्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमशादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदा साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि सद्गुरुं तं स्मरामि सद्गुरुं तं भजामि। नमो ब्रह्मण्यदेवाय गोब्राह्मणहिताय च जगद्विताय श्रीकृष्णाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। नमः शिवं विद्याम्यशास्त्रे नमः श्रीगुरुचरणकमलेभ्यो नमः श्रीकृष्णाय नमः। Jai Guru. Good evening. We are, I think, on the 26th shlok of the 4th chapter. Let me see. Yes. Chapter 3 being Karma Yoga, Chapter 4 being Gyan Yoga. Gyan Yoga is wisdom, knowledge. The Lord is telling us the various methods of Karma Yoga or Kriya Yoga and the various mental conditioning that one has to undergo to arrive at this result of knowing, completing your own internal journey. And in this process, he has described many kinds of yagyas, pujas. Nirashir yat chittatma stakta sarva parigraha. This is in 21, Shlok 21. Shariram kevalam karma kurvan apnoti kilvisham. He who performs activities only to prolong his life and does not believe in any extra work. This final paragraph says, If you continue to do sadhan, then without actually trying, your external breathing will stop. This is called Kevalam Pranayam. And the pranavayu, your life breath, is then taken to the top of your head and is stopped there. This is Kevalyapad. That is why Shivji, Lord Shiv, does this, and he holds the Ganga on his head. Ganga is from his jata at the top of his head. In 22 he says, whatever is available is satisfactory. I don't go out to grab more because I have no real needs. Whether I achieve my objective or I don't achieve my objective, as far as sadhana is concerned, as far as Kriya Yoga is concerned, I'm not worried. That is another way of doing it. Gata sangasya muktasya jnanavastita chetasa. One with no desires. One without desires, he who is free of attraction, and is constantly staying with Brahma. There is no other except Brahma, the creator. That is the only thing that exists. Even I don't exist. I am created by Brahma as opposed to Brahma. Brahma is the formless one. Brahma is the creator. And such a person, knowing that Brahma is the only thing that exists, he has no desires, and he constantly does this yajna, kriya yajna or kriya pran kriya yoga. Then all his bondages, all his bandhan as we call it in Hindi, being tied down by his own activities of the past, that is dissolved. Then we read in 24, Brahmarpanam Brahma Avir Brahmagno Brahmana Hutam Brahmaiva Taina Gantavyam Brahma Karma Samadhina. We have understood that everything is Brahma. The act of doing this sadhan is also Brahma. My consumption of anna, grain, is also Brahma. The fire in my belly, called Samanvayu, is also Brahma. And all these activities lead me to Brahma. All the results of these actions are to lead me to Brahma. That's what we read. Then 25 we read, Daiva meva pare yagyam yogina paripasate brahmagna vapare yagyam yagye naivo pajuhyati. Some yogis do Dev Yajna, that is, move into the kutastha and keep staying there and watching whatever is inside, whatever is being revealed to him. That is Dev Yajna. Because this is also called Swarga. This is also the place where the deities live. Krishna lives there as the soul. Brahma lives there as the creator, Hiranyagarbha. And the devatas stay in Krishna. So this is Daiva Yajna. Today's shlok श्रोत्रादीनिन्द्रियाण्यन्ये संयमाग्निषु जुह्यते शब्दादीन विषयान्यन्य इंद्रियाग्निषु जुह्यति. Juhyati is offered to fire. This is you get them consumed by the fire, which is God Himself, which represents God Himself. That is Juhyati. So, other yogis offer their eyes, ears, sight, not eyes, sight, hearing, power of smell, power of taste, etc. We have 5. Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Ras, Gandh. All these are offered to Sanyam Rupi Agni. Sanyam is total control. Shabdadin Vishyananya, and all the word, sight, all these objects which we are trying to consume. Our man always wants to wander around the outside and take in these sights and sounds and taste and smell. He says, Indriyagnishu Juhyati, which means even the Indriyas, the ability to see, the ability to hear, etc., are also offered to this fire of Vishay. What we perceive or desire is called Vishay, objects. These objects are consumed by Indriya. The Indriyas are so controlled, so sanyat. Let me read that a little bit. When your sensory organs are under complete control, under your complete control, that is called Indriya Sanyam Roop Agni. If you continue to practice pranayam over a long period of time, with complete dedication and concentration, you reach the stage where you are able to completely control your sensory organs, even your work organs, all the 10 organs, 5 sensory, 5 work organs. At that point of time, the Indriyas stop functioning. They are in your control. And you don't want them to, wander all over the universe. So they are in your control. This is called Pratyahrit, which means Pratyahar. Pratyahar is revert them, from their original objective. And that becomes so deep ultimately that the external sound, etc., are not felt inside by the yogi. He is oblivious to this, whatever is happening. It is almost as if his indriyas have stopped working. They are so much in his control. These are words which are very tough to translate into English. Any internal or external object, you start thinking about that. Let us say you start thinking of the kutastha, internal. And then you start concentrating so hard to the exclusion of any other object. That is called dharana, then dhyan, then samadhi. I have told you in the past that there are Ashtang Yoga, 8 organs of yoga. 4 are doing, duties, and 4 are objectives of reward, so to say. What is that? First is pratyahar, second is dharana, then is dhyan, then is samadhi. So pratyahar, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. Here he says, when you concentrate on any object internally, let us say your sight in the kutas, or maybe some sound in your ear, a nad. Such nads are anahat. Anahat means hat means to hit to generate a sound. Anahat means no clash of objects, and yet there is this sound. It is self-generated. The ability to do this is called sanyam. Sanyam is, in a very diluted way, sanyam would be self-discipline or self-concentration, where you ignore everything else and concentrate on one object. When you have done your daily practice of pranayam over a long period of time, then you achieve a mental state of mind where you do not wish to open your eyes, you do not wish to talk, you do not wish to communicate with anybody else, you don't want to leave your asana and get up. That is a stage where the man is sthir, not vacillating, not doing funny things. When this stage comes, where you're not doing anything, you don't feel like doing anything, you're not inclined to do anything, that means niravlamban. Niravlamban means no embrace on anything. You're not thinking of your family, your own body, your own programs for the day, what are you going to do today, what are your objectives over, say, the next week or next month. None of those. They have just simply vanished from your mind. You are completely blank. And you are also not interested in talking, you're not interested in opening your eyes, you're not interested in communicating with anybody else, you are not interested in changing your physical position. Where you are sitting, you don't want to get up. This is the stage where dharana starts. When the dharana continues over a prolonged period of time and the man is completely shant, that means action free, reaction free, action reaction free, then you feel joy, internal joy without any real reason, except for the fact that you're not worrying about anything, you're not talking about anything, thinking about anything, you're completely free of all thoughts. With skill in the practice of Kriya Yoga, such a control of dharana is established, and your man now looks back inside rather than looking outside in the world and searching for various pleasures and material benefits. It is not looking inside and searching for the soul. This is called dhyan. When external stimuli, like maybe an external sound or maybe somebody calling out to you or maybe a phone ringing, does not distract you from this concentration, that is called dhyan. When this continues for a very long time and there is still no urge or no external stimuli to disturb you, and even if there is, it actually does not impact you, that in its deepest state is called samadhi or paravastha. Normally, to concentrate on anything, you need an object on which you can fix your gaze and your mind. That is an external object, maybe a diamond, maybe, or maybe a tree, maybe a mountain. You're concentrated on that particular object, but that's outside. And that is not a proper way to get dhyan. For example, Bihar School of Yoga advises a process called Tratak, where you gaze on the flame of a lit candle. The flame flickers and elongates itself, and you want to reach the top of the tip, and you do that for say about 20-25 minutes of time, and your concentration is on that flame itself. That is an external concentration. You want to concentrate on something inside. When you have been practicing yoga for maybe an hour, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, at that time you might get some sound in your ear without any source of that sound, generation of the sound. That sound is called anahat sound. I just explained this to you. If you concentrate on that sound, that is in the Gita it is called nad. When you concentrate on that sound, that will take you to this light which is here, which exists here. And through that sound you enter your kutastha and stay there. In that condition, you really have no pravritti, external inclinations. Nivritti is where you have no inclinations of whatsoever type. Pravritti is where you have your natural inclinations, like hunger, need to stretch, need to walk, need to talk, etc., etc. When those are also gone, that is samadhi. The sensory organs, why sensory, even the work organs, always desire for external stimulus, sight, sound, smell, whatever. But even having received those material stimuli, your mind is not set at peace. It still wavers, it moves around, it looks for more. प्राणायाम आदि साधन के फलस्वरूप जब नाद प्रकटित होता है, here we go. When you continue to do pranayam for a fairly long period of time, then naad will appear, sound will automatically appear. Nobody else will hear it. Only the yogi who is doing kriya will be able to hear naad. As opposed to a normal sound which all around close proximity will be able to hear. Naad nobody else but you will be able to hear. That leads to many things in your kutastha. You see so many things. In fact, kutastha is called Rang Mahal. I think I have told this earlier. Rang Mahal by Kabir. Rang Mahal is the pleasure dome of a Raja, a king. He organizes musical soirees, dance, drama, conference, whatever he desires in the Rang Mahal. So in the Rang Mahal, this Kutastha, you see all sorts of strange sights. Along with the sound and the sight, you have no inclination to look at anything else, try to go out and see something else. No. This sight and sound is different from the external sight and sound where there is no peace in your mind. With these sight and sound, if you concentrate on them, you derive a lot of peace and joy. Ultimately, this leads to samadhi or paravastha. (27) सर्वाणींद्रिय कर्माणि प्राण कर्माणि चापरे आत्मसंयम योगाग्नौ जुह्यति ज्ञान दीपिते. Still other sadhaks, yogis, with the self-control Sanyam, self-Sanyam, control Agni, the fire of self-control lighted by Gyan. Gyan is wisdom. Burn off there the sensory and work organ desires and all let us see this. I am not able to point my finger at this. सारे इंद्रियों की कर्मों की अपेक्षा अर्थात कुटस्थ में दृष्टि रखने की अपेक्षा भी क्रिया करना श्रेष्ठ है. संयम दो प्रकार का होता है, इंद्रिय संयम, आत्म संयम. Okay. There are two types of control. One is Indriya Sanyam, where you control all your sensory and work organs, and there is Atma Sanyam, where you control yourself, your mind, your heart, your ego. This can be achieved smoothly by concentrating on the Anahat sound or the Jyoti in the Kutastha. Sometimes in the Kutastha you see very many different objects. Sometimes you see your own Guru. Sometimes you see a tremendous amount of light. Sometimes you see some deity, maybe Shivji, maybe Durga Ma. Such things are known to happen. Maybe you just see a star or a sun. You never know. And if 5 people are doing Kriya here, everybody will see the same object is impossible. Each will have a different experience, depending on his conditioning, depending on his mental status, depending on his Kriya status. So many things come in. At that point of time, Kutastha Jyoti, Prakash, light, and or Anahat Shabd on the ear stops the vacillation of your ethereal heart, man, and your buddhi. Just stop wandering and just stay there and concentrate on your sight and sound which you are now seeing and hearing. There are certain processes for generating this Kutastha light. Your mind will be still and your heart will be still as long as you are doing that process is ongoing, your heart and mind will be steady. But this is not going to be a permanent affair. After say 5 minutes, 2 minutes, they will be back to their jumping around. However, When you have been doing pranayam, etc., and the rest of the kriyas which your guru will tell you or has told you, for a prolonged period of time, for many, many years, when you have reached the position of paravastha or samadhi, that is called Atma Sanyam Rupi Agni. Atma Sanyam is self-control, where your heart, mind, and your indriyas stop functioning as long as you want them to. So he says, अतीन्द्रिय मन, बाहरी ज्ञानेन्द्रिय और कर्मेंद्रिय और पंच प्राणों की समस्त क्रिया निरुद्ध हो जाती. Even the breathing is controlled. Stopped, not controlled, stopped. Only at that point the words Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat become meaningful. Till now they are simply mere words. Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. I said it, you heard it, you repeat it, I'll hear it. It will not be meaningful. We will not even be able to understand what it means. Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat. If I translate that, Sarvam, the entire, Brahmamaya, God as the, He exists in everything and everyone, that is the Brahmamaya, Jagat, world. I have said it, you have heard it, but I dare say, we cannot fully conceive of this. So the result is that we have heard it, we have nodded our heads, we have said yes, 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 that's right. But it's not entered our inner core of our beliefs. These are still mere words. When you have samadhi, you have anahat sounds, you have jyoti. Then comes a stage where this Sarvam Brahmamayam Jagat becomes a natural phenomenon where you are able to actually say, yes, I have seen it, I have felt it, I know it. Today you can't. When you know that everything is Brahma, you are Brahma, or your surrounding is Brahma, then where is the need for the mind and the heart to move around the entire world searching for nothing? So you are at complete peace. The desires that you had before this stage was available to you are now gone, they are history. You have no desires. Because in all other manners and phases, your man is concentrated. It is concentrating on, say, the kutastha or the sound. But that does not last too long. When you reach this ultimate stage of samadhi, then the man is virtually gone. It is, I won't say obliterated, it is merged with your soul from where it has arisen. And thereby, man will not distract you through the indriyas, because the indriyas are also gone. Your body is disconnected from the rest of you. It's called the, Kabir Das ji says, uses the word ये है मार्ग प्रेम का पूरन अगम अगाध शीश कटे पलड़े धरे लागे प्रेम समाध. This is the route to ये है मार्ग प्रेम का, love. Love with the only one that you can love, the Almighty. ये है मार्ग प्रेम का पूरन, complete. Agam, you can't go there. It's very difficult to tread. Puran agam agad, so deep, you can't reach the bottom. You can't feel the bottom, you can't see the bottom. It's as deep as that. ये है मार्ग प्रेम का पूरन अगम अगाध शीश कटे. It's virtually like cutting off your head and putting it as a weight on the balance, way balance. शीश कटे पलड़े धरे लागे प्रेम समाध. Then you have samadhi. What is the meaning of शीश कटे? It's a difficult concept for people who are not used to such terms. शीश kate is virtually disconnected connection between your body's signals and yourself. It's like a network failure. The body has a network. It tries to send signals to your head, your kutas, your heart, your brain. The signals are not received. It's like a network failure. That network failure lasts as long as you are in samadhi. As if the body does not exist. As if the world does not exist. You are with the Maker. You are in the ultimate state of bliss. That is samadhi. When you reach such a state where you are able to perceive the Almighty, then why should you bother with anything else? Everything else is, like chicken feed. Got a 56-course dinner. Would you like to bother with chicken feed or fish feed? The world will be like that. You don't want to bother with stupid things. Only when your senses restart, that means they start working again, your eyes start seeing the world, your ears start hearing things from the world, external sound, external sight, etc., that you are still immersed in the memory of the Almighty. So now you are very faintly perceiving the world around you, your own body also. The network is now slowly returned, but is disturbed. At that state of time, you have memory of where you were, and you begin perceptions of where you are. When the samadhi is broken, the material world starts appearing to you through your senses. At that point of time too, it is like diving deep into the ocean and coming back up with nothing in hand. Your senses are completely dominated by this pleasure and your bliss, internal pleasure and internal bliss. But the perception of the world is not lost. So you are in a twilight zone where you can see where you were and now are perceiving where you are, which is nowhere really. Such people are able to achieve small miracles, like, raising their hand and getting a laddu out of nowhere, turning a piece of stone into maybe a valuable stone. These are small miracles. Baba used to say, when you reach that stage, even you can perform it. No greatness in this. There was a chap called Gand Baba in Banaras. Ultimately, he became the disciple of Sanyal Mahasaya. He used to perform such miracles. And everybody used to say, wow, because you're not used to it. Nobody is. So Sanal Baba and Tiwari Baba in tow visited him once, and his Gandha Baba's Shishya, disciple, was, a little caustic, and he made a few remarks about Sanal Baba. Can your Guru do this, all this? Something like that he said. And Sanal Baba could, Antaryami, he could hear everything, he could know everything, he understood everything. And within 2 or 3 minutes, Sanal Baba got up and said, let's go. So Sanal Baba with Tiwari Baba in tow reached back. This was in Banaras, the Dharamshala where they were staying. And sure enough, Gandha Baba's miracles had stopped. And he was now desperately looking for Sanal Baba to find out what had happened. So he appeared and he said, I want to meet you. And Baba said, come. So he fell at his feet and said, just after you left, my achievements were gone. To cut a long story short, he became Sanal Baba's disciple. He was Gopinath Kaviraj. He was a professor in Banaras University, sponsored by the Varanasi Raja. I think he was contributed to, yes, it says महामहोपाध्याय पंडित गोपीराज कविनाथ कॉलेज के भूतपूर्व अध्यक्ष महामहोपाध्याय पंडित गोपीनाथ कविराज. There you go, towards the bottom, the third line from the bottom. Why? Question is, this happened, but why did it happen? I am very fond of this particular bhajan that Kabir Das ji had sung. I think I may have sung it once or twice before you also. It says, Heli, Heli is buddhi. Heli mari निर्गुण सीढ़ी बड़ी सांकरी रे पातो चढ़ो नहीं जाए चढ़ गया मरहेली गिर पड़ा तो जीव अकारत जाए अरे बावरी रे कदे चालांगा गुरु का देश मेरे गया पुरुष नहीं आया है. Let me translate. Heli, O brain of mine, O buddhi, please understand. The route or the stairs leading up to this place is so narrow, it is impossible to reach there. And if you have actually managed to reach there, and you generate a little bit of ego, you will fall down. Never to rise again in this lifetime. So that is what happened to Gopinath Kaviraj. He was proud of his small achievements. This stage can be achieved, I am told, by just winning over Muladhara, the first, from the bottom, the first chakra. If your Kul Kundalini has left the Muladhara and crossed the Muladhara chakra, then you can achieve all this. You have a long journey still ahead of you, and you are happy with this little achievement, which is no achievement really. So that is what happened to him. He generated ego. Baba didn't like it, but of course he would not say a thing. He just came out. Chad gaya mariheli, you have reached this place. Gir padya to you fall down. Jiva akarat jai. His life is lost. His life is lost in achieving nothing. A few sights, a few sounds, a few products. This can be achieved by the yogis without any ego. Babaji Maharaj, the guru of Lahiri Mashe, created the golden palace. I have repeatedly said this as an example. But when you are so fascinated by your own achievements that you like to project yourself as a great saint, that's when you fall down. That's when you deplete your own achievements. What happens to the body then? Here, स्थूल देहाभिमानी या जागृत अवस्था का चैतन्य प्रणव की अमात्रा में, स्थूल देहाभिमानी, this body, the outer corporeal body, merges into the A of Pranab. Pranab has three matras, A, U, Ma. So the first matra is A. The sthul body or the corporal body, the body which is physically visible, touchable, that merges into A, which is Agni, Vaishwanar Purush. Vaishwanar is Agni. Sukshma Deh, or the ethereal body, merges into the U, second, A, U. And Suptabhimani or Karanadeh is the tag body. Tag body merges into the Ma, A, U, Ma. So your three body forms merge into these three different matras of the prana. Thus, your entire existence merges into the Pranab. Pranab is also called the Akshar Brahma. Akshar. In Bengali it would be undepletable. This is Char Sharir. Char is jeta khoy hoy. With that which depletes, is destroyed, is damaged, is this body. When you merge into the Akshar is here, that is Kutas, that is also Pranab, which is why we are mentioning A, U, Ma. Then what happens? The Maya, which has trapped you so long, where you think this is your body, this is your existence, this is the starting and the end, that is gone. Then what remains is Brahma in the shape of Pranab. When such a thing happens, then your illusions of being this body, enjoying your various organs, your brain, your heart is gone. Then you yourself cease to exist because you have merged into the great ocean. You as a small rivulet, a small nadi or nala, have flowed into this ocean. And you become one with him. So now you lose complete attachment to your body. This can only happen when you have reached Samadhi or Paravastha. This, the sthul body, the corporal body, is called Tvam, you. And this is called Tat, the Kutastha. The entire mantra is like this. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari. He who steals away your enemies or removes your enemies is Hari. যে হরণ করে অরির, Ori is Shotru, enemies. Hari. Om is the pranam. Tat is the pranam, kutastha. Sat is this. This is Sat. So Hari Om Tat Sat. What has happened? Hari has removed all your enemies. Your body has merged into the pranam, and thereby you are in Tat, through which you will reach Sat. Unless you understand all this and retain it, the mystery will prevail. You know, I don't understand this. Oh my God, it's so tough, it's so intense. Nothing. Just think one thing. You are to merge yourself into what you were originally. That's it. It's no big deal. Call it by any name, call it in any language, but that's what the objective is. At that point of time, avidya beej dagdh ho jata hai. Your attraction or attachment to your body is gone, because that is an illusion. The illusion is gone now. And Brahmatma Aikya Bodh ho jata hai. When Brahma is one and you are part of him, this Bodh is awareness, is achieved, never to be lost again. Such a person is able to know, what does he say? Purva janam ki abhigyata hai. He knows about his own past life and the past life of all around him. Because he is now Trikal Darshi, able to see past, present and future. Livia was asking me this question, why don't we have memory of the past life? You have, if you reach this stage. I told her you cannot have it because you will not be able to handle the multiple lives that you have. 3 lives if you know. Then in one life somebody is your husband, the other life you are his husband, and so on and so forth. So there will be a huge amount of clash which you will not be able to handle. So God has designed our body in such a way that we forget the past life. But when we gain the ability to understand and live with the past, that's when you get to know about your past as well. This condition cannot be achieved by talk, sentences, logic, and discussions. This can be only achieved with Kriya. And Kriya ki Paravastha is the place where this achievement is available. Anywhere else it is not available. Hold on please, my Guru Ma is calling. Ma pranam neben. হ্যাঁ মা, আমি 5 মিনিটে করি। আচ্ছা মা, ঠিক আছে, প্রণাম মা। जो इसको प्राप्त करता है वह क्रिया के द्वारा, क्रिया की परावस्था में सम्यक स्थिर होकर ही प्राप्त करता है। अन्य कोई उपाय नहीं है। देयर इज नो अदर मेथड बाय विच यू कैन अचीव दिस stage in Kriya. This is the ultimate stage. What does Tulsi Baba says? very beautifully he says, विधि हरि शंभु नचावन हारा, को नहीं जानत मर्म तुहारा, और तुम्ही को जानन वारा, जानत तुम्ही हुई जाए. Let me translate. Vidhi Hari Shambhu. Vidhi is Brahma, the creator. Hari is Vishnu, the preserver. Shambhu is Shiv, the destroyer. Vidhi Hari Shambhu Nachavanhara. You make them all dance like puppets on a string. They are your puppets. Vidhi Hari Shambhu Nachavanhara. Ko nahi janat maram tumhara. They don't know the essence, your essence, who you are, where you are, what you are. Even they don't know. विधि हरि शंभु नचावन हारा, को नहीं जानत मर्म तुहारा, और तुम्ही को जानन वाला, ही हु ट्राइज टू नो यू थ्रू क्रिया योग, थ्रू सेल्फ कंट्रोल, थ्रू निरावलम, थ्रू सो मेनी थिंग्स, थ्रू वैराग्य, और तुम्ही को जानन वाला, ही हु ट्राइज टू रीच यू, ही हु बिकम्स अ ब्रह्म स्कॉलर, स्कॉलर ऑफ ब्रह्म, स्कॉलर ऑफ द फॉर्मलेस वन, studies you, researches on you, thinks about you, he lives you. और तुम्ही को जानन वारा, जानत तुम्ही, the moment he knows you, he is able to perceive you, तुम्ही हुई जाए, he becomes you. Kabir has said the same thing in different language. He says, लाली मेरे लाल की, जिद देखो तित लाल, लाली देखन मैं गई, मैं भी हो गई लाल. लाल लाल तो सब कहें और सबके पल्ले लाल, गांठ खोल देखा नहीं, तास रया कंगाल. He says, लाली मेरे लाल की, light of my Lord. लाली मेरे लाल की, जिद देखो तित लाल. It is everywhere. लाली देखन मैं गई. I tried to reach a spot where I could clearly see his grand presence. मैं भी हो गई लाल. I became him. लाल लाल तो सब कहें. Everybody says, भगवान भगवान, ब्रह्म ब्रह्म, लॉर्ड लॉर्ड. और सबके पल्ले लाल. He is inside you. गांठ खोल. You have not removed the knots in your chakras. तासे रहा कंगाल. That's why you are a poor beggar. You have not achieved any of these things. So I think Livia is not there, nor is Runadi today. Shankar has disappeared. He's got busy somewhere. So that's all right. We will, I think, call it a day. We will read 28 and 29. Tomorrow there is this Akshay Tritiya, for which I will be going to Guru Ma's place. And so tomorrow there will be no Gita. Day after tomorrow we have a live session from about 5:30 we will start Gita, and we will finish by 7. So there will be no English version. Those who are interested, on Saturday they can join us on the same Google link for the Hindi version. I will be talking in English wherever I feel that there is some clarifications, etc. So now I will call it a day unless somebody has any questions. If not, Jai Guru.
No, thank you. Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.
Jai Guru.